we get energy into what we're doing, and what are the words that I love to use. So, Rhonda Lou Moxy is something that was created based on having energy and motivation and feeling the excitement, as you see in our studio here. It's about having excitement and really knowing that you got this, that you really got this, that this is your essence of standing into your superpower, and not in the ego, but the superpower in you. Hi, my name is Rhonda. I'm the host, and today I am going to be your guest also on this Fresh Talks Global Vision show, Unleash Your Moxy. Today we're going to talk about how you can honor your ideas. And you know how you can go, stop, go, stop. And then you just stop and you stop in your whole goal. And your whole goal doesn't become whole anymore because all of a sudden everything fizzles and you start realizing, here, wait, this doesn't seem right. Let's back out of this. Let's just stop. And so what happens from that moment on is the divine trust that you have within yourself. You go, okay, well, I thought that I wanted to do this. And you start second guessing yourself. And that word trust, that divine space of trusting that you know that you got your back, you start questioning it. Who here has done that? No more. Let's pull the Moxy into it. And also looking, at this whole thing about what Moxy really is. My name is Rhonda Lou Moxy. When I'm out here speaking, I'm on the stage doing stuff. And I had to look up what Moxy meant again. To me, if I didn't look at the definition, which I'll say in a moment, I just feel like there's energy inside me going down to the nervous system that you can feel your nervous system calm, but then you also feel like this energy. And I call this like a sexy energy. It's under the freedom pillar of the work that I do, because I believe if we have freedom, safety, and healing in our life, there's nothing better than that. When you look at all three components, that you can breathe and you feel something in your flow that's different. And every day you hone in to create more and more superpower on this. You just go, wow, I didn't know I could go deeper in the calming and the nervous system under that freedom pillar, because we're going to get into the healing pillar and then get right into honoring what you are really focusing on and helping you get forward, but honoring your ideas is that when you calm your nervous system, you start getting a feeling of healing. As soon as your body starts opening up with freedom and knowing that your highest level of manifesting, highest level of seeing your goal, of feeling it, you can taste it. It tastes so good, which I call sexy food. Sexy food for thought, sexy food on your plate, and it's all wholesome. It's not the other way. Don't let your mind go there when I'm talking about sexy stuff. We're talking about inside the body that you feel the ultimate, that you're in alignment. Have you ever felt that before? And maybe it's today. That's why you're here. Who knows? But if you keep focusing in on that, it's going to make such a big difference. And I had one of these weekends, a little sidebar here. I had one of these weekends where, oop, that I was up and down and up and down. And it's this feeling of making all these big changes, but doing it, incrementally, but it feels like a quantum leap. And sometimes we can get so in our head because everything just feels so new. But when you bring that energy in, it might get you in the middle of the night when you wake up and you're going, oh my gosh, I made all these decisions and feels so different. And you just start kind of getting in your head about things. But when you wake up, you do your morning work and you start really learning about aligning yourself. You can feel it. You're going down your path and you can align yourself. You go, oh, I feel that so much. That's where we're going with the freedom pillar. And then the safety. Now, not everybody knows they need safety. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't need any safety. I don't need anybody to watch out for me. I don't need this. And safety can be an interesting word too. That's why it's a big pillar. Safety is that there's a difference when you walk in a room and you can feel the whole vibe of the room. It's just going crazy. And you're like, oh my gosh, I want to go against the wall. Not the sparkly wall. I want to go against this wall that is like flat. And I just want to be in there. I don't want anybody to look at me. This is uncomfortable. And you're in that kind of state. And there's another way that you walk in a room and you can feel all that craziness, but there's all the work you've been doing around the safety. And it's like, but I'm looking over here because I have the list of my pillars. And it's like you get to feel raw and uncomfortable, but you kind of go, here, wait, okay. Raw and uncomfortable is okay. It just means that I want to go in, I want to calm my nervous system. So I feel like I can honor my idea, honor my space of walking into this room, honoring who I am, because raw means there's this change going on. There's nothing wrong with change. I'll tell you though, as a CPA accountant, when I was in the business for 10 years, I didn't like any of that feeling of change. Anything that made me feel uncomfortable, you'd hear me say things that were like trying to kind of like keep me on this path that was not on alignment. So I had all this chaos but I would cover it up. So in the brain, it was all womp, womp, womp with all this chaos. It was. There's a lot of chaos going on there. But I I'd put on this facade, this like stone kind of, like that resting bitch face that people call resting bitch face, like that. And I had that on constantly. People weren't attracted to talk to me. They actually didn't even um, believe that they could probably trust me with their information. And probably in that mindset, I probably wasn't very trustworthy. But I am now. I'm a coach and I love all this stuff. But being able to say I love you is part of the safety. That safety pillar. We've already talked about freedom. We got safety. We got healing. We're really talking about honoring your ideas. That's the umbrella today. So when you are in the love you stage, we're like saying, hey, I'm really learning to love myself. Love. Doesn't mean that you don't want to do some adjustments here and there of your body and working out and nurturing. But the truth is that once you start feeling the love for you, it's almost like you can step outside of your body and really look at yourself and go, I really want to nurture this body. We have this body on earth right now. We're living. How beautiful is that safety pillar when you start telling yourself, I love you, and you seriously mean it? The heart does not bring you wrong. You can be a love bug, but if you close off your heart, that's a whole nother situation. Your heart is not able to open up and give you that space because as soon as somebody says something that you think they shouldn't say, you switch from the heart sense right into the cerebral where it's like attack, attack. Somebody's not acting the way that I want them to. And then your nervous system gets all messed up. And then that affects your healing component of your pillar, which we're going to get to in a moment. Then there's the empathy, there's the authentic space, there's the heart, and that is what your safety pillar is. Raw, love you, empathy, authentic, heart. And that's your safety pillar. So feel that come up. Raw, love you, empathy, authentic, heart, and safety. So now you already have your freedom pillar where you're feeling like fabulous. You're ready to receive. You're ready to honor more of your ideas because you feel more freedom. Now you're learning to be able to have your safety pillar. You can go in any room. You don't have to wait for anybody to warm up a stage for you if you're a speaker or you're running a business and you're out there speaking, same thing. But you know how the inner wall of you're there for yourself. I believe that we are hashtag speaker locking arms. At this point, we have about 56,000 views on this because I speak about this all the time. When we use our vocals, we get to get out there and speak. Even when we're in a grocery store and we say hello to people, or we're just walking down the street and we look at somebody and we go, hey, hi. That's like the thing of like, hey, how are you doing? Because it's just kind of like a robotic thing to say. But what about if you just didn't say a lot and you just kind of, or you said, how are you doing? But you didn't say, hey, how's it going? That sounds like fun. But what if you looked at them and you said, hey, how are you doing today? That might seem kind of silly, but I tell you, I have the best conversations by believing that we are here in this world for locking arms and helping each other. I'm even finding ways to partner with people in a new way. So I used to think like I want to be lead, I want to find somebody else to be a lead, and us together we're superpower and all this kind of stuff. When I start getting more out of the ego and really honing in and really learning to honor my ideas and honor others' ideas, that I started recognizing her. These are my gems that I have. That person's asking me to support them. And instead of doing a workshop together, I actually really like what they do. And this is what they do really well. So, what if we partner and we do these things to support each other? And it becomes like a circular kind of a movement. And so then we're not stepping on each other's feet trying to tell each other what to do, but we are deeply in our purpose. And I've noticed that this is a great way to have conversation with people when I'm looking at, well, how can we support each other? And I believe that's one of the strongest ways to do it is learning how to do that. The healing component, we've talked about freedom, we talked about safety, but the healing component's really interesting. I've been in the health industry for more than 25 years. And I've learned in this journey, after getting off a hypothyroid medicine about 8 years ago, wow, it's really been that long. But I'm learning to be able to take the veil off and listen and learn and understand the atmosphere that I want and asking for that. And at least practicing that before you allow any others in that you feel like maybe these don't fit it right now where I'm trying to go through my transformation. So anybody have people like maybe in your family or your community where you're like, I'm just getting triggered too much and I was actually getting sick and throwing up and with certain people being around. And I realized I'm trying to go through a transformation because I'm really opening myself up. But I mean, if I keep these people in my life right now, it's going to stop me from growing and really being here what I'm supposed to do here. Have you ever felt like there's a purpose for you right here now? Why you're here? You know, everybody around you is special. Everybody has gems. Do you see that? Do you see yourself? And you're like, oh, what is that? For me, it's about speaker locking arms. It's about a humanitarian project that I have going on that I am starting to step into right now. And within 5 years, I want a big stage with not just me, but the ultimate speakers that are at a frequency that brings high motivation in, so that we can transform the mind. So I think of this as humanitarian mindset transformation entertainment. Mindset Transformation Entertainment. I trademarked that, and I'm calling it a project. And I want it somewhere where it's a really unique destination. And why I'm doing that is it's not a regular speaker event. That it's the vision that if we can bring people together and start communicating what is not working out there, what's happening, that we understand in our expertise, not just an opinion, because opinion is that you're just judging, you're saying things need to be this way or that way, but it's not that you're in the details. So that to me is within my safety pillar. What's in your safety pillar that you feel like you are like all of a sudden recognizing it now that you want some shift in some of the things that you have in your expertise area where you're like, yeah, I'm running a business and I don't enjoy working with certain people, and this is what I've been learning about this, and this is where I see in the world how people are showing up, and this is where I want to change this so this can change and transform my business, but I see how this can affect the world. You see how you're looking at it in a more global sense instead of just being in your body and narrowing your vision just through your eyes, but you're literally coming out of your body and saying, what's the biggest impact that this body can do right now? Right now. That's all we're asking for. That's a lot, though. Your safety pillar is yes, you got this. That's the first layer. So when we're trying to honor our ideas, if we don't feel like, yes, I got this kind of thing, well, what the heck is going to happen? Down the dumps. That's what's going to happen. It totally is going to happen that way. So if you do your morning work to get your mind there so that you can see a bigger picture, you can see a bigger week, then you got the first layer of the safety. I know all this is work. And you know, it actually doesn't feel like work when you connect yourself with why this is really important. I like that light better. I know I messed with myself today. I don't mean to. It's just that I I started the show late today and I'm like all of it's combobulated. So excuse me for kind of being aware of my outside appearances. It's one of those things where I didn't give myself as much time as I wanted to. And so anyway, so I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. If you had more safety in your life, what would that look like? I'm getting it together. Hopefully I didn't lose you. Healing is about yes, you got this. Energy, impact that you want, feeling successful. We were talking about the trust over in some areas over here. We're looking at the safety. It's about knowing the impact and the success that you want. It's trusting that you got this. And if you haven't really fulfilled like some big goal, you want to take it incrementally anyway. Incrementally. Alignment is all about healing also. Because if you are in alignment every day, your body is not going to be triggered and pulling you all different ways, but it's going to help you feel something new, something that just feels right, that maybe in your life you didn't feel was right for you. So the healing pillar is about how can I heal my day-to-day stuff so I can honor, which the show umbrella today is honor my ideas. If you keep on this freedom, safety, and healing, and if you want that layout, I'll make sure I send it to you. So you just have to tell me you want it. But if you keep honing in on those pillars, which is the first phase, and if you have a business, this first phase and getting all that alignment, I love talking about the cash flow in people's life. So from zero, like starting up a business or getting yourself going, up to 250,000 in your business that you can create when you align yourself with freedom pillar, safety, and healing, that you know that you got your back. That's the first phase. And that's where we want to go. Because that's when we can start honoring ideas. Honoring ideas is that you really went through what I call like the FITT process. You spent your time focusing in on it, integrating what you were focusing in on, and really every day looking at it. That you're allowing your body to transform, your body of work or your physical body, because this is all in alignment with unleashing your Moxy. Then we have the thrive, focus, integrate, transform, and thrive. And thrive is about celebrating. Even if you got 10%, 1% of your goal, it's better than what you did before. Well, this is what's really important. Anytime that you bring your frequency down, it takes some time and energy to bring it up. But what if you practice mindfulness around accepting where you are? Now, this is a whole new mindset. That's why the morning work is really important. So you can say, I need to celebrate this, because whatever I focused on in the beginning and integrated, I saw some transformation. What usually happens in coaching is that people will say something totally different. Even if they nailed it 10% or 50%, we'll talk all about the failures first. And I remember, I'll tell you a story. I remember I used to do personal training, big groups. I used to call it the girlfriends group. And I noticed when people would come in, the first thing they would say is everything that's not working, because the brain is in the fight or flight. Now, this is the beginning of like about 15 years ago when I started business, because I really started training when I was 19 years old. But when I started this business, people would come to my studio and it'd just be all everything that wasn't working. So I allowed space for them to decompress. I didn't go at them right away. I was just like, well, not even really go at them, but I let it be. And then I would let that kind of sit, and then I would kind of shake it up and say, all right, so what happened in that goal? And then all of a sudden they'll say, great, I'm sleeping better. And I wasn't sleeping very much at all. Here, wait, I've actually lost some weight. Like my pants feel, better on me. So there were these things that would start happening once you let people just kind of drop whatever is spinning in the head. And I'll talk more about the head sense, because I don't want us to be fighting with the brain, but really being cohesive, allowing the heart to get into a point where your brain and your whole physicality starts trusting you. So if we keep going in this space of moving forward and knowing that our brain is fight or flight, knowing that we want to honor ideas, knowing that we get really tired if we keep going and stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping and all that kind of stuff. Because the energy to even get going, it's so much fun at first, but by the time you've done it 3 or 4 times, you're like, I just can't do that anymore. I just can't do that anymore. And all of a sudden, you don't make any goals anymore, and you're just like, and you're totally flatlined on it. So this is important, because focus, integrate, transform, and thrive really is the special space to be, 4-step process to be able to give you insight on what you really are seeking, what you're seeking at that moment or coming up. Like, I want this to be done within a certain amount of time. That is how you honor your ideas. Is you find ways. Good morning, Laura. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. This is the way that you honor ideas, is that you really step into knowing that your brain is going to come at you at first. So when you're in that FITT process, focus, integrating, transforming, and thriving. This is the name of my first book, The FITT Solution. 4 steps to a sexy, successful, authentic you. Being authentic and being sexy energy and really being you helps you relax more when you don't 100% nail your goal. And I got a secret for you for doing coaching all these years. You're never going to nail your goal 100%. Why? Why would you want to? Because that means that you stayed stagnant because you thought if I start here and get to my goal 100%, that means your brain never changed and transformed every time you woke up and you created this additional new, not additional, but new identity of yourself. To hone in on what's important to you, what you want to make sure that you keep moving forward on, it's getting to know yourself more. So we talked about the freedom, safety, and healing pillars. Bring those along with you. Tell me if you want that list of what I talked about, because you want to see what percentage you are within that space. If you can figure out where you want to be in your heart sense and your goals, and know that you'll never nail 100% of your goal. I'm asking, why would you want to? Like, ask yourself, because you keep moving that scale forward and forward and forward. That's why you need the last T in FITT. I hope that makes sense. Do you feel that? It might be something different than what you thought of before, because I think of just like, I think of the billion-dollar industry out there of the diets that are out there. There's so many wonderful things about all these new diets that come out every year. The issue is that 100% of whatever this book was written about will fit a few people, but it's not going to fit everybody, even if it fits your best friend. You have your own story in your body. So if you believe that you need to nail something 100%, and if you do, that'll make life so perfect. Well, why? Why do you want to do something exactly the way you thought exactly you're going to do? Because you thought 10 days ago that that was the perfect goal, but you had 10 days to wake up and refresh and look at the trees and walk your path. That vision's going to change because it's going to get more colorful. Jeff and I were doing meditation this morning, and my arm kind of went up like this during meditation because it was talking and speaking about something that it was like I wanted to paint my day, and my body was like, I want to paint. Oh, I see orange, I see red, and I started painting. And I was telling Jeff about that. I'm like, we were in meditation, I was trying to paint. That's fun to share this with my hubby because it's wonderful to be able to meditate together, talk about crazy cool things, and learn how to combine our energy in a way that we become a couple that's able to, like when you decide you're going to be a couple, because you can be independent, but when you're a couple, how do you make that work? How do you create that energy? It's the same way with you communicating to yourself, but you are learning after 20 years of being on thyroid medicine, 8 years being off, you're learning to vocalize, communicate to this person, make sure this is the right person to be in your life. Because I know there's a contract there. How you honor that contract is speaking, communicating. And that is what you bring back into your FITT process so that you can honor your ideas. Let's tie a bow in it today with your honoring your ideas. I'd love to hear your goals, what you're up to, and I will give you a link if you're interested in getting that handout that shows what the freedom, safety, and healing pillar are so that you can gauge yourself and decide, hey, what percentage am I at that? Because if you get all that, you're going to be doing some crazy cool stuff in life. It's a great morning skill to have, and journaling and knowing where you are on, yes, you got this, on your energy, your impact, your success you want for the day, your alignment, all that kind of stuff. That was actually the healing pillar. Laura, thank you for being with us. I appreciate you, and everybody else. I appreciate you so much. Namaste. This is the day you want to unleash your moxie. Let's go for it. Mwah. Love you so much. I'll see you next Monday.